Hey everyone, my name is Kabi and today I'm going to show you the non-mirrored matchup that one of the players shared with us last week. Some time ago we announced a system where the players could share their best games. Mostly it works currently on Discord, and this is one of the games from the Discord. And unlike the other videos, where I usually used to show you the top-notch guys from the top of the rating, today instead of that I'm gonna show the game of not really the beginner players, but rather the mid-level players who have their own idea how to play the game, and it is sometimes a very interesting part to watching any strategy game, including War Legends. So, as the light blue player we have Maverick Donovan, and I guess we're gonna call him Maverick to make it shorter. And as the dark red player we have some player who didn't bother to rename himself. You probably are aware that for the first time you can change your name for free, but this guy didn't bother to do that, so he'll be just the player or just the dark or wherever I may come up with. And so on this map we see the light worker rallying to the other side of the map really early on, arriving at the 6 o'clock position. Not sure what he's up to. Probably he's gonna make a proxy racks, but since there is already barracks, I'm not sure if this is the case. And at the same time the player sends his worker away as well. And this is now something weird, because I don't have a clue what these guys gonna do with those workers not mining resources. Usually you really don't wanna do that, because of course every worker you pull out of mining hurts at some degree, but it hurts even more if they don't really do anything, just standing there doing nothing. But we see Maverick go in Dwarven Forge, so probably gonna take some kind of the dwarf branch, including Warsmith or maybe just Bombardier. And it seems that the player doesn't really understand what's happening. So he goes to Barracks Totem. Oh, he may be as well going just to the Turax Wolves, but he also builds the Altar of Heroes, so he's not really gonna have enough resources for all of that. But he may just build sort of mass goons along with the chief, I'm not sure, and then switch to the wolves. Usually you wanna do your chief before adding the second racks, but actually this player is a bit behind the well-optimized build order, so he probably gonna have just enough to build a chief. I also believe this game was played before the balance patch, so probably Chieftain is still 500 and Paladin still 6 to 4. Not really too crucial on this level of play, honestly, when guys floor up to 1.5k resources before 5-minute mark. So this is something you wanna really put your attention on, because if you floor on resources, that means that what is urgent to do is to spend those. So you don't really want to spend your attention to any micro when you are this high on resources, because this means that you are lacking a lot of units, and with the micro you can obviously win like half HP of one of your units in trade, but how does it matter if you will have like 4 units less in 2 minutes? So it's not important, but it is something you really need to consider to understand one day, because as many other players back in the day, I was thinking that I'm good in micro, so I was trying to micro in RTS all the time. And once I ran into the coach who told me to stop spending my attention on that, because he showed me how far do I lag behind because of that and how many things I actually miss. But alright, we can see that Maverick made the human monument as well as the elven tree, so he is pretty much on all of the 3 race buildings at once. And you never ever wanna do that, but what is even more weird? What is this? What the hell of altar of heroes near the enemy's well of mana? I'm really not sure, this is way too weird. So now Paladin uses his Dome of Light. I believe it would be a better idea to actually target down the wolf, because this would be way faster, but probably the idea Maverick had is that wolf can always escape, so rather than that he prefers to hit the chief. But anyways, more wolf incoming, but also the light player reinforced with the 2 knights, who along with this armor buff are really tanky and beefy, but you wanna maintain them in the aura for that actually, and now Maverick does that. So he's doing a good job with the micro, I might say. So another Dome of the Light's being used as long as it is ready, so the player didn't miss an opportunity to use the active ability of the hero, which is really a good thing to do and to maintain. And it is already 7th minute mark. But on this map we don't have a 730 chest, because the middle of the map is obtained with the lake, occupied with the lake, so there isn't a place for the chest to pop up. We'll have a water chest later on, but not in this position, obviously. You're not gonna build ships in this water. And Fire Elemental still there, Ulterior Tower incoming, and probably light players gonna farm that Elemental and take this mana well. So the dark player is really confused with what is happening. So he just died here, probably wasn't looking, so he decided to use the Eye of the Providence scroll to check out what is even happening. And here comes the 3rd Dome of the Light, and here also come an Aeronaut. And as per right now, the light player doesn't have anything to fight the air units, so he's not hesitate to build a crossbow tower right here. And it is now a funny idea. I'm not sure if this is a funny idea though. Probably he had in mind that he can trigger the Fire Elemental on the enemy's Aeronaut, and if it would work, it would be such a perfect move, but you can see that it didn't, and now the chief finishes off the Paladin, and Maverick doesn't yet have enough mana to resurrect the hero, so he has to build it once more, and he adds now the Sanctuary to be able to heal the units again right here. He tries to repair the tower, but it is unluckily for him that the tower is being under attack of both Elemental and the Chieftain, so he's gonna take down Elemental in the first place because the Chieftain is very high on HP and the second artillery tower is being built, but the chief being like auto-attacked, so he's not controlled, so he opted to go for the knight rather than the building tower, because the building tower can't attack it, so the system choosing the unit that is already on the battlefield. And here comes another tower. And where it was, but it goes even more, even wider, if we can imagine this kind of the word in English. I'm not sure about that, honestly. But anyways, the chief goes down, the wolf goes down. Tremendous amount of damage from the both of those towers. And now the wolves got a better idea how to spend their time rather than trying to smash their heads over the walls. So they say like, well, mate, you probably built all the towers that are available to you on this weird position in the middle of pretty much nothing on the map. So what if I just rally my units to your own base? What are you gonna do? Because you can be even supply blocked right now. Well, actually Maverick already built a castle 3, but haven't built a third farm, I mean. So his supply capped at 72, and that's no good, of course. But anyway, he doesn't have anything to shoot air, and he can't hire an archer. He can hire it now because a couple of workers have been killed. So there are 3 food. One archer is 4 food and one worker is 2 food. So those elven girls eat hell a lot of the food, just like the 2 peasants. I'm not sure how they maintain this kind of a shape, but anyways. Probably this guy is gonna go down, if not microed by the player, and here it goes. So Maverick is still about okay. Losing all your workers is not too fun, but he did have quite a bank, quite a bit of money in the bank, so he can rebuild the workers and almost back to the normal mining. But I'd probably suggest to alright, upgrade the human monument. That's now a perfect decision, because he would be able to make a second tower in the base, and aeronauts are the main treat in my opinion. But he also has archers, obviously, but it all comes down to the numbers. And, well, actually the third farm is also a must, of course, because he just supply capped, and that's way too bad. But at the same time, the red player is supply capped too, and even lower food, because his Pixty, it seems, does not have the level 6, so it is only 66 food. It is farm level 5, I mean Pixty level 5. And if you upgrade it to the 6th level, you're gonna have the 72 food. So farm and Pixty is the very first you want to upgrade, not the units, not the heroes, but the farms and the Pixties, because you will plainly have more units to work with. So now Maverick trying to build a crossbow tower, and I believe that if aeronauts would be attacking it all the time, there would be a chance to take it down. But player doesn't have any more scrolls, so he can't use something like the sharp thorns, which is, you probably didn't think about it this way, but the sharp thorns scroll deals piercing damage, unlike Magic Blast, which deals magic damage, and that means that the dark scroll of the sharp thorns is significantly better against buildings, comparing to the light scroll of the Magic Blast of the same amount of mana. So you can use sharp thorns against buildings, as well as against bikers and things like that, who are not vulnerable to the magic damage, but probably high vulnerable or mid vulnerable against piercing damage. So red player keeps rallying all the units to the blue player base. At the same time, blue player builds a new base. The brand new shiny base on the 6 o'clock position started to stealing the other guy's money, which is very funny to me. It is somewhat a strategy, I must say, but he's lacking a bit of the map control, but actually knights are quite fast to make it, but he really needs to somehow deal with all those knots. And it seems that his archers have been killed, so there is nothing attacking air again apart from the crossbow towers, but they are way too far from defending this monument. A couple of archers arrived at the battlefield and knights keep pressing the chief. The chief for some reason yet can't activate his circle strike, and the chief goes down. One poor healer's been under attack, and here come another wolf. This chest is still unobtained, and this is actually something that the blue player has to make, because he is right here. It is like half of the screen to make it there. And Necromancer here, doing pretty much nothing important. He could have resurrected like 3 skeletons, but not being microed correct way. And nobody here can attack air. Actually, the Maverick player could have tried to use the gravity scroll. I believe he has enough to take down 2 knights, but I'm not sure. He may be not having this scroll for some reason. Probably he spent all the scrolls and not playing the arena mode. It is some kind of the feedback we sometimes get, that some players don't really understand how to get scrolls because they spend everything and they have 0. And in case you didn't know that, you are supposed to play the arena mode. And in the arena, the magic chests are step in as the prize. So you win, you get the prize. You only need to like take second place 4 times, I believe, or even 2 times to get a first chest and 4 times to get a second chest. So you will already have some scrolls if you didn't even win the arena once, and you can do it every day. And it is only like 5 minutes a game, so you don't really have to invest much in that. But anyways, the aeronaut was killed. It was able to take down a Minotaur, but human monument's still there. And at the same time, the funny guy Maverick keeps mining the other guy's gold, adding the artillery tower to protect it. Probably he just supposed that the enemy was going to hit his second base, because it really makes sense, to be honest, to switch the attack direction from the main base to the natural, but rather than that, player decided to opt for the main base. So now Maverick is in trouble, because he doesn't have any more of shooting the air, but this crossbow tower is still doing fine, finishing off 1 knot. Also, we noticed how Maverick used the gravity scroll a few seconds back. And now his knights also doing the great job, in my opinion. But what is not great is that he lost the archer again, and also a lot of skeletons emerged, so they are doing not like the greatest damage, but they absorb some and then deal some. Another sharp turn, see how it kills off the 2 knights. A perfect move by the dark player, and this knight also goes down. And it seems that the base of the red player is in trouble. I'd probably suggest him building a princess to be able to move here fast, but he decided to go for the bombardier. Bombardier will be able to kill those aeronauts actually, but it is a long way for him to go to the main base. So right now it seems like Maverick is not going to do that interesting decision to use the sharp turns on one archer. So they killed each other at the same time, and also decided to go the second elven tree, probably to build the second tower and protect the base, but Sanctuary is still level 1. It is a funny decision from the player to go zombie. Actually it makes sense, but he just didn't think that towers are still there. So the zombie lost for nothing, but actually player didn't spend his time for nothing. He made the 2 second gates, 2 racks still there, workshop of course, because we saw a lot of knots. And now zombies are in the play, and also the venom speedsters. So red player is significantly above the blue player in the army supply, even though the blue player is on the 2 bases. So he really missed some summoning cycles. But he adds the snipers, which is an interesting thing to do in such situation. But snipers are good against venom speedsters. They also fine against heroes, of course, but not so much against those undead units. But we see that the player is already on the 4th tier, and Maverick still on the 3rd, but he's far from being supply capped currently, so he cannot haste with that. And now player making his way to the opponent's base. Maverick decided to go the barracks 2 in the main base too. Probably I'd suggest to him to just make more things, honestly. He's trying to get more wood, but he actually just spent hell of the wood, too much of the wood, on all those upgrades at once. And also snipers and also factory. That is why he's missing. But, well, adding a worker or 2 is fine. Here comes the ring of fire and the zombie trying to finish off the workers to produce the new zombies. Not always successful, because you really want to pull back your other units when you want to finish something with zombies, to make sure that nobody will finish the unit instead of them. But now, alright, it's not gonna work because of the elven tree, which I honestly forgot about. And I believe that player just didn't know how much is the aura in this mode. We can't check this either. But bad news is that all those second race buildings gonna go down, and Maverick should think in advance to make the new versions on the other base, but he decided to go to push the enemy rather than that. But you can see that player had just enough, it seems. But actually, well, probably Maverick is still fine with this attack. He still has sniper on board, as well as a bombardier and paladin, so he can take down the dark gates. So player sees that, so he decided to pull back his venom speedsters. 2 zombies approaching, but the 2 heroes can probably take those down easily. The main buildings is about to be completely obliterated. but zombies didn't make a lot. Another sharp thorns. Bombardier trying to find a right angle to hit the zombies. And here come the Venom Spitters. What an interesting decision to use the gravity on them. Sniper goes down, but now comes the artillery strike. One of the Venom Spitters was killed, the other was killed, and both of them actually went to the under obelisk, which you could notice on the screen. So many players tell me like under obelisk is very weak with its aura, because the aura doesn't do anything. But just look at this. It may feel like that when you have something like a skeleton archers or skeleton warriors who's been resurrected, but what if you get back your Venom Spitters for free? Doesn't this now feel significantly enough? So you just get back 2 Venom Spitters for literally free, and one more goes there, and you will get it back too. Isn't it just perfect? And imagine like there will be tier 4 under units, and you can get those units for free as well. So I don't really believe that this is a weak aura. This is like an endless roller coaster with those Venom Spitters, because they keep dying and they keep being resurrected for nothing, for 0 resources. And now players gonna have at least one of them again. The other died too far from the obelisk to be resurrected, but this is somewhat a race building, I must say. And at the same time, it seems that this building is gonna go down, but Paladin goes down too. And 2 Wolf Riders and zombies still there. 1 helicopter approaching, trying to make something down, but sees that there is nothing to hit air to take down the Venom Spitters. So blue players tries to pull back, and he has the Dwarven Forge here, but only the first tier, so can't make any snipers now. Archer trying to kill this Venom Spitter, kill this Viper, but not too successful, because Venom Spitter has a magic damage as well as the poison, so he's way stronger comparing to the Archer. And the blue player doesn't really have anything to put against it as per right now, but he summons the Bombardier, and Bombardier is of course strong enough to make with a single unit, even if the 3rd tier unit. And also Maverick recall that he has to upgrade his castles to be able to build another farm and another Rex. Here come another Venom Spitters too, but actually army supply pretty much tell us everything we need to know. It is 80 against 20, and of course the game is lost for Maverick, but it is an interesting idea to play the game, I must say. And I believe that there is a way to maintain your defense, the way that you can successfully defend your base until you get enough to probably be so aggressive to your enemies so he can't mix and split his army into parts to be able to attack your base. So it is an interesting idea, and I can't wait if this player or probably stronger players will develop it. So we'll see if such games will be uploaded for us to see. And for today that's it, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.